blessed and a wonderful evening. Looking at St. Catherine's Primary School here. I'm going to do a video with St. Catherine's Church. First of all, I will go to the churchyard. This is the church cemetery here for St. Catherine's Church. So again, I'm in the parish of St. Philip, which is to the east of the island. St. Philip is southeasterly, but this part of St. Philip is fully east. This part of St. Philip is fully east. And this is the part of the Bayfield area. Bayfield, St. Philip. This is a part of the Bayfield area, which is home to Red Plastic Bag, another well-known collectonian, RPB, Red Plastic Bag, and John King. Red Plastic Bag and Matt Fingal, two well-known collectonians, and then John King and Blood, also from St. Philip, as well as Duke Chet Edisher. This part of St. Philip is home to the Masons, the Seeleys, the Stewarts, the Wiltshires, and the Wedderburns. All the church cemetery here for St. Catherine's. St. Catherine's is supposed to be a double cure with St. Mark's. St. Mark's Anglican Church. So out here is also the home to the Stewarts. As I said before, Frandell Stewart, the former Prime Minister Frandell Stewart, is also from this area as well. The only former Prime Minister that is still alive, Frandell Stewart, is from this area as well, in the Bayfield area. So this is the church here on top of the hill. As I said before, St. Philip is the flattest parish in Barbados. Less hills or no hills at all. But this part of St. Philip it has a few hills in it. Not much, but a few hills in it. Hey. This path laid in recognition of all those persons who care for this church and its grounds. J.P. J. Marshall, Justice of the Peace, on April 21st, 2011. It says here St. Catherine's Anglican and Episcopal Church, consecrated on April 26th. Consecrated on November 26, 1922. Consecrated on November 26. So St. Catherine is an Anglican church. So St. Catherine's Church. As I said before, you can see St. Mark's Church over here at College Savannah, St. John. St. Mark's is the sister church of St. Catherine's. Not too far away, you can see St. Mark's Church on top of the hill here. When you're at St. Mark's Church, you get awesome views of the East Coast. So over here is Forest School, St. Philip, and that area, and same St. Mark's Church. So as a fellow Anglican, I will showcase these Anglican churches. St. Catherine's Church is in close proximity to the East Point Lighthouse. It is also close to Culpeper Island. Culpeper Island, which is a little dot off of Barbados. Culpeper Island is a little dot off of Barbados' waters in the Atlantic Ocean. And St. Catherine's Church is near, Culpeper Island is nearby to St. Catherine's Church. Culpeper Island is off of Skeets Bay. It says this is the prayer and dedication area built in memory of John B. Marshall, born 1880 and died in 1949. And Mayor Marshall, born 1902 and died in 1986, by their sons John A. Marshall and their grandsons on the 28th of March 1995. This is all the cemetery here. Harvardine here and Frank Gittins, William Lawrence Hollingsworth, Marjorie Miller, so districts surrounding St. Catherine's Church would be East Point, Bayfield, Merricks, Culpeper, and Marleyville. Church bell here. So onto the top of St. Philip. Further east, Catherine Louisa Hunt and Jesse Edwina Wedderburn. Wiltshire. These most likely are related to red plastic bag, also known as Station Wiltshire. You see the school on top of the hill here as well. The restroom facilities. So this is St. Catherine's Church. St. Catherine's and St. Mark's share the same cure. This is the vestry over here. It says this vestry was dedicated on November 29th, 1975 by Drexel, the Bishop of Barbados, Bishop Drexel Gomez, who passed away last month. Drexel Gomez, originally from the Bahamas. So this is all the Anglican Church of St. Catherine's in the parish of St. Philip. Again, we can see St. Mark's Anglican Church on top of the hill. Over at College Savannah, St. John. St. Mark's gives awesome views of the East Coast. The views there are spectacular and breathtaking. In memoriam, the list of people who contributed to St. Catherine's Church, who died. As I said before, this part of St. Philip is home to the Masons, the Wiltshires, the Sealeys, the Stewarts, the Gittons, some Butchers as well, and the Wedderburns. The Butchers from St. Philip, mostly from the other side of St. Philip, closest to Ebenezer and that side. That side, Ebenezer and Edgecombe and Chapel and Church Village. That side of St. Philip is where the Butchers originated from. But this part of St. Philip now is mostly the Masons, the Stewarts, the Wiltshires, the Wedderburns. You can see the church bell. The bell had to be placed here. It says this porch was erected to the glory of God in memory of William and Martha Cheeseman by their son Alan Cheeseman in August 1988. So as always, I always start end my video from this point towards the church. Thanks for watching now, guys, and have a blessed evening. Stay tuned for more videos of Barbados.